no matter the location. From O-A-K-L-A to L-V, I'm a Raider.
Right now we're going to get into these Zoom calls, right? So to come on the show, the Zoom meeting ID, you can see it below me, and I'll verbally say it, is 865-3904-0489. So in order to come on the show right now, if you don't already have it, you need to download Zoom. You need to then join the meeting and then join the show. We've kind of already put the link in the comment section. So, but Javier Rivera, he'll be next. Galaxy Note 9 and then UOM are the next three people in the queue. The way that you can get into the queue, the easiest ways are you can super chat. If you super chat, you'll be able to kind of jump the line, join the show. The way that we're doing these queues right now is via Zoom. So when I get the thumbs up, I'll bring in Javier Rivera, and then we'll continue this. So Javier, when I do bring you in, my man, all I ask you to do is ask your question, and then we can have a debate. Javier, you're on.
Yo, what up, man? Coming here from Harlingen, Texas. Appreciate everything you're doing on the show. My favorite free agency pickup was Corey Littleton. We needed to attack the linebacking crew. What was your favorite free agency pickup?
I mean, I was probably going to go with Corey Littleton as well, but I would also throw in the names like Nick Kwiatkowski. I think that's going to be a huge, huge upgrade for us on defense. And as much as I love the addition of Corey Littleton, I think that he is the clear-cut favorite. And when I did my grades, when I did everything that I could, man, it was Littleton, because he's going to be able to add so much versatility to our defense, and that's how you get better, right? Like, that's how you compete with teams like the Chiefs, because when you can get a linebacker that can cover a guy like Travis Kelce, that's what it's all about. All right, let's now go to the Zoom. My man, your 30 seconds, it starts now. Cheers, you just want to drink with me? I'm all about it. Cheers to you, dude.
Hey, what's up, man? Hey, so how do you think the Raiders are going to do against New Orleans? And here you go. Here's my contribution. You like whiskey?
Oh, yeah. Dude,
How's this?
if you're at a tailgate, we'll drink some whiskey. So my contribution, go, chug, everyone type chug. Now, for me, I hope that we can win the game, but if you watch
how do you think the Raiders are going to do against New Orleans?
If you watch my predictions video, I did say that the Raiders would end up losing that game. However, I do think that we can at least compete with them, right? I mean, you got to be able to control Drew Brees. You got to be able to control Michael Thomas. It's going to be a huge task for Trayvon Mullen to be able to control Thomas, but it is going to be our first home game. I think, we're going to be rocking, but it's going to be a tough one. I mean, so what do you guys think? Do you think we can beat the New Orleans Saints? I mean, they are one of the best football teams in the National Football League. When I originally put out my prediction, I had 35 Saints, Raiders 24. Now, again, you guys might get mad at me for saying that, but this show is about honesty, and I just don't know if we're quite there yet. I do hope, though, that we can soon get there, okay? Soon get there. So we got the Zoom queue updated. So the next three people are Josh Johnson, Alejandro Martinez, and then, hey, you can join in. So we are waiting for Josh's audio to be able to join. And to the last guy who just zoomed in, I appreciate it. I love everyone that's coming in on the show. Got almost 300 people watching live. So the next person here is Josh Johnson. Josh, my man, what's your question? Josh, you got to turn on your audio. Can you hear me? He's got his Max Crosby jersey on. He's got a Jerry Rice jersey. That's what I see so far. Cheers to you. I can do that. You want a drink? Ready? Josh, next time, turn on your audio. Hey, I think this show is all about trying to just bring Raider Nation together, right? I mean, if there's anything that I've learned from the past, if there's anything that I've learned from 2020, it's like we are stronger together, we are a family, and I think, doing shows like this where we can get together, have people come on, have a little bit of fun, kind of just spark your weekend a little bit, that's what it's all about, okay? That's what it's all about. All right, Alejandro, so it's crazy. It's funny because while I chug this beer, I just want you to know what's about to happen. So Alejandro, he works in trees. What does that mean exactly? It means that he does power lines, and he's probably going to be like 50 feet, maybe 100 feet in the air. So just Alejandro, what's up, man? What's your question? Ugh. You beat me. Alejandro and everyone watching, you got to click join audio, okay? And we got 2 more beers. So, we'll see. So, as you guys can see right now, we got the Zoom queue. We got 300 people watching right now. Did we just get another $5? Okay, so first off, we're going to go to Damien on his Zoom. And then we're going to end up going to the Super Chat. So, Damien, you're going to get 30 seconds. You can ask me your question. You can do whatever you want. And then we'll go to you. So, Damien, your time starts
Mitch,
right
can you
now.
hear me?
I can hear you.
Hey, Mitch. Hi, already here. My question is, who is that surprise player that you think makes the 53-player roster?
I would say my surprise player that I really want to consider is Rico Gafford, because if I'm the Las Vegas Raiders, to be honest, I probably say goodbye to Nathan Peterman, because worst case scenario, Derek Carr and Marcus Mariota, they get hurt. I think we could actually rely on a guy like Lynn Bowden. So you rely on Lynn Bowden. Appreciate the question. Goodbye to you. And I keep Rico Gafford for the speed and also for his athletic ability and also for his ability to play special teams. So I would say my original video that I put out, my 53-man roster projection, remember, it is actually a 53-man roster. You just get 2 extra players that you can bring from the practice squad and then put on your final roster where you're seeing the number 55. So for me, I think it's Rico Gafford. And honestly, I would keep Rico Gafford over Nathan Peterman. So appreciate the question, Mark. That means we're going to bring in my friend who's zooming in here, Mark Morrison. So your 30 seconds starts now. Mark Morrison, so your 30 seconds starts now. So, Mark, if you could turn off your background noise, because I can still hear my voice. So, Mark, if you could turn off your background noise, because I can still hear my voice. And if not, if you just want to ask your question, you can do it.
I have nothing
You did it.
on. I have nothing on. I'm sorry. I just want to ask you, what do you think of Derek this year, man?
So what do I think of Derek Carr this year? Hey, man, appreciate the question. I think Derek's going to be a very good quarterback. And it's really going to kind of come down to whether or not we can win these football games, right? So I don't think he's going to put up MVP caliber numbers, but if you've watched some of my past videos, you'll know that I think he's going to have about 4,200 yards, career high, 26 touchdowns, about 6-7 interceptions. Our offense needs to really be able to click with Josh Jacobs in that running game. And as much as I want to say Derek can win MVP, I just don't think it's going to happen because that's not how Gruden's offense is going to work. We're going to run with a 3 tight end set, and I just don't know if that's how we're going to be able to click at the best of our ability. But in terms of Derek having a good year, yes, I think it's going to happen. But would you all agree with me? Would you rather have stats or wins? I want wins, and unless we get wins, I don't think Derek's going to be able to stay around. So if we win football games, Derek's back in 2021. However, if we don't win football games, it's going to be time to move on from Derek Carr. Is that going to be totally fair? I'm not quite sure. You, Keith, your 30 seconds starts now. Ask your question.
All right, man. So, sorry about earlier, but hey, this is a good question. So, Cleon Farrell.
Yep.
Do you think that he's going to be at the same caliber as Max Crosby as he was last year? And do you think that we're going to have 2 caliber defensive ends?
So to ask him to be on the caliber of Max Crosby, that's a tall task, right? Because 10 sacks, 4 forced fumbles. And there's only been 8 players in NFL history that have ever had 10 sacks, 4 forced fumbles in their rookie season. And some of those guys are Hall of Fame caliber players. Do I think we got an absolute steal in Crosby? 100% for Chucky Heads, believe it, baby. Do I think Cleveland Farrell is going to be better this year? I absolutely do. Because, so last season, 4.5 sacks for Farrell. Sure, 2.5 of those came from the Chargers. But if there's one thing that I've heard from not just his agent, not just from people that I trust in the media, Cleveland last year came in playing at about 262 pounds. And he lost like 15 pounds because he got sick when they went to London, got food poisoning. So for me, he started at 262 in the offseason, put on another 13 pounds of good muscle. Now he's up to 275. And I think for Cleveland, and it happens to a lot of college players, Cleveland dominated at the college level. He was rated the best defensive end in all of college football. I think kind of, he got pushed down a little bit. And anytime a man, I think, loses his man card or loses confidence, it does affect you. If there's one thing that I've learned, Cleveland has been working really hard. He's been doing all the right things, and I think he's going to have a much better year. Do I think he's going to be able to be Max Crosby? That's just still a waiting game. Let's go back here to the Zoom queue. Remember, you can join Zoom here. You can go in the comments. I believe the link's still been put in there. I'd be lying to say that I haven't had a few drinks, so I don't totally know. So Jason sounds like he's on deck, and I can kind of hear him a little bit. But Jason, it looks like you're in the dark here, so your 30 seconds starts now. Talk, Jason. Go for it.
Do you think we can get Anthony Harris if he hits free agency?
Do I think we can get Anthony Harris if he hits free agency? Personally, I don't know if I love Harris, right? I just don't think it's going to happen. So Anthony Harris, from what I know, is going to be a Viking. I am getting a little bit of background noise from you. So if you guys watch a lot of our shows, Anthony Harris was like one of my favorite players, right? Because him for the Minnesota Vikings, he's a dynamic safety, but I don't see him hitting free agency next year. I think an NFL team like the Vikings would be smart to keep him. Now, you never know what happens in terms of cap space, but I still want to wait and see what we have in Demarius Randall. I know Jonathan Abrams is going to be sticking around for a little bit, so we'll see. So what are you guys drinking right now? Somebody said water at work. Well, I'm at work, and I'm drinking a beer. I probably can't say what I'm drinking. I was going to show it on that screen. That doesn't work. So next person calling in is actually just an iPhone. So they're not a human being. It's, in fact, just an iPhone. So iPhone, you're on. What's your question? I don't think he can believe that he's on.
Hey, do you think that we could steal Deshaun Watson and Bill O'Brien is drunk next year?
Oh, okay. So do we think we can steal Deshaun Watson? Bill O'Brien does not deserve Deshaun Watson. However, if Deshaun Watson wants to come play for the Raiders, that's all good. Brother, what I want you to do is take a picture. Can you take a picture of this and put it on your Instagram? You and me together, okay? That's all I want. So, as much as I love Deshaun Watson, our quarterback right now is Derek Carr. So, will Derek Carr be the Raiders quarterback in 2021? I want you to type Y for yes, or I want you to type N for no. So, shout out to iPhone. Appreciate the question. I would love to be able to have Deshaun Watson in silver and black, but it is going to cost probably like $40 million. So that's a lot of money. All right, let's go back to some of these Zoom queues here. We got 340 people watching. So normally on my Tuesday live show, we do hashtag Raiders. You know what? We're going to step it up a notch here, okay? We're going to be able to do things like on Zoom. We're going to be able to have some capabilities. What I want every person to do right now that's watching us live, okay, is to give a shout-out to James and give a shout-out to Brett because they're working very, very hard behind the scenes to be able to get questions. When we originally thought, we're like 6 questions tops. I don't know how many we're at. It's more than 6. So here's the Zoom queue. What you see is, oh man, S.E., Sebji, Emmanuel, and you. So, Sebji, you're up. 30. What you got for me?
What's up, Mitchell? Who's going to be the linebacker for like Tanner Muse or Devin White? Who's going to make the biggest impact? And which undrafted free agent makes the actual roster?
All right, first we'll start with the UDFA. I think the UDFAs that have the best chance are Madre Harper and Dominic Eberle. So if Eberle can beat out Daniel Carlson, and if Madre Harper can kind of really show his athletic ability, because honestly, I thought he was actually going to be drafted. I had him as a 6th-round grade. And then in terms of, you mentioned Javen White, who is also a UDFA, and then I can't remember the first part of the question. Unfortunately, what was the first part of the question? I can still hear you, even though I can't see you. He can't hear me. So, I think we get, from the UDFA's Madre Harper, and then from the other players, I don't remember the full question. I'm sorry. So, I am trying to get to 49K subscribers. If you could help me get there, hit that sub button. We're going to be doing some Zoom questions. We're going to do one more Zoom question. So, if you want to try to get a Zoom question on, you're going to have to super chat your Zoom name. All right, so let's go back to the queue. So we have Emmanuel coming up, and then we have nobody else. So just Emmanuel. So if you guys want to be able to join the shows next week, all I ask you to do ahead of time is download Zoom. So every Friday show that we're going to do from kind of, here on out is going to involve some drinking. It's also going to involve Zoom. So please, please, please download Zoom. So Emmanuel, you're up next, and your 30 seconds is going to start when you're ready. So I can see your picture on the other screen. You know what? We'll do this. We're going to let Emmanuel get his picture together. We did just get a super chat from Robert Lee. Robert Lee, we're going to spin the roulette wheel. So we got a super chat from Robert Lee. We'll let Emmanuel get ready as well. So Emmanuel, if you're ready, your 30 seconds starts now. What's your question?
Do you think the Raiders are going to have a better defense than the Chiefs?
Do I think the Raiders are going to have a better defense than the Chiefs? Well, I sure hope so, because as much as I love the Raiders' offense, I don't know if we can compete with Patrick Mahomes. But I think it's really going to come down to whether or not the players that we invested in free agency can buy into the system. Now, as much as I am confused of what Paul Gunther's trying to do on defense, I'm hoping that it works out, right? Mark, you're on. You paid for it. You got your question. If you want to talk for a little bit, what you got for me?
Yeah, just real quick.
Real quick, what you got?
Hopefully this actually works.
It's working.
All right. No, it's just in regards, I'm tired of all the hating on DC. And
You're good. I can hear you. You're good. Keep going. All the hate on DC. What you got?
he has the year in 2016.
Okay.
And the only time that receivers actually did anything.
Yeah. I mean, for me, like, when I go back and I look at Derek Carr, right? If you actually look at from a number standpoint, his last three seasons, 2017, 2018, 2019, are actually, like, better than what he did in 2016,
right.
2015, right? But I think the way that Carr takes that next step, when I think about Carr being MVP caliber, he had at least, like, a number one receiver, whether that was Amari Cooper, whether that was Michael Crabtree.
Exactly.
I hope, fingers crossed, everyone type fingers crossed if you can, that it's Henry Ruggs, right? I hope Ruggs can at least be that separator. However, I just don't quite know if we're going to put up the stats that he did before, right? So, Mark, I appreciate your question. You know, you can bounce your, feedback off me if you will, but I think for us, if we can run the football and establish that, I don't care what Derek's stats are. I just need him to not throw so many interceptions, convert on a high level in red zone, because when you go out and get players like Brian Edwards, Henry Ruggs, now we have Darren Waller, if Foster Moreau can stay healthy, we have the options to be competitive in the red zone. Last season, the Raiders were 11th in terms of yards, 24th in red zone. So, Mark, like I got a question for you. I want you to predict Derek Carr's stats for this upcoming season.
Oh, God.
It's a tough question. Yeah, I know. How many
34,
yards? Okay, 34
touchdowns.
Woo.
9 interceptions.
Okay.
4,132 yards.
So last season, he had a career high 4,054 yards. The most touchdowns thrown last season was by Lamar Jackson, 36. So if he has 34 touchdowns and 9 interceptions, that would be an incredible year. He'll be back for 2021. So, Mark, I want to say thank you for your super chat. You extended the show. I hope you're back for every single live show on Tuesday, Friday. I personally say, hey, shout out to the Raiders. If you see me in Vegas, Mark, I want you to hunt me down. I got the first round, okay?
Unfortunately, I'm in New Jersey.
What about this? How close are you? So how close are you to Centenary College? So I went to college at Centenary.
Hackettstown, I don't know if you heard me. I'm all the way in Jersey.
I'm in Jersey. So I went to college in New Jersey. That's why I asked. So I fly I fly into Newark because my family's in Pennsylvania. So all I ask for you is like, hey, if you for some way find me, see me, you hunt me down. I got the first round of beers.
What are you talking? The Jets game?
I might be able to come to the Jets game. My dad's a Jets fan, so I might be able to swing that. So if I come to the Jets game, I got the first round, okay?
All right, sounds good.
All right, brother. Thank you so much for your question. So my weekly challenge for this week is to post your Raiders tattoos. So I don't care if you're on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Post your Raiders tattoos and just tag me in it. So next week, I'm going to post my favorite Raiders tattoos. Can y'all do that for me? I sure hope so. So we got 448 people watching now. If you could please hit that share button, share it on Twitter, share it on Facebook, any place that you have social media, share this video, tell your friends to subscribe, and I'll see you next week on Friday, happy hour, here on the Las Vegas Raiders.